Welcome to Coffee Time News, a little segment I like to do dealing with everything with politics. We are currently going to be covering everything going on with the election. Before we get started, please make sure that you subscribe, follow us on all of our listening platforms, of course, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, everything like that. So let's just go ahead and get started. The last time I talked to y'all, it was in regards to how the media had already called the presidential election for former Vice President Joe Biden. And of course, all the legal stuff that's going to be going on within the next coming days. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about that, what's been going on. So far, a lot of the states that were in question, of course, Arizona being one of them, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia are still going through the legal battles right now. There is going to be a hand recount over in Georgia, which President Trump has tweeted out against because they're not letting his officials go in there and look at the actual recounts themselves. It's kind of just going to be a word of mouth. And even that, the recounts really don't do much. All it does is just recount the amount of votes a certain candidate did receive. I believe the thing that needs to happen is a recount and an audit. So just hand selecting a number of ballots, going to those people's places and asking them, hey, we just want to confirm that you voted for this specific candidate. What that does is it cuts the numbers down dramatically, and it also makes it to where there's no room for actual voter, I don't want to say fraud, but discrepancies. So if, they're coming to your house asking you who you voted for and you're saying, oh, I voted for A, not B, then they could say, okay, well, this is a voting discrepancy that needs to be counted. So the media, of course, has been not covering a lot of this stuff right now. They're, of course, just writing it off as, hey, Donald Trump's just biding his time. He's being a sore loser. He's not willing to concede, everything like that. In which case, it doesn't make sense. Like, being a media news outlet, you should be reporting any type of news. Like, once Trump had said, hey, there's voter fraud, yada, yada, and you're not seeing any evidence, I, as a reporter, will be covering that stuff because I'm like, I want to see what the legitimacy of this report is. And, if it is Trump making up stuff and, just dragging himself through the mud, you will want to cover that stuff. So why has there been a media blackout with this type of stuff? It's only through lower platforms like Newsmax, Charlie Kirk, different YouTubers like that are covering this type of stuff. And there's been a bunch of articles, I believe it's over 257 different cases that show different forms of voter inaccuracies. I'm going to use that word. So what's going on? What is the next steps to be happening, and what can we expect to happen in the future? So right now, the Joe Biden campaign is, of course, urging to have a transition of power already, even though on the last debate, Joe Biden himself said that he would not claim himself the victor until every vote was counted. So far, every vote has not been counted, so that's just, a lie in that sense. But the things that have to happen, of course, the recounts are going to be happening. I do think that there should be a recount, an audit, of course, the investigations. If I'm Joe Biden and I truly believe I won legally, not any type of fraud, any type of inaccuracies, I'm going to want an investigation because there's a lot of upset people out there, a lot of upset conservatives that I need to have on my side. I need them to work with me. So why not have this investigation? Why not go through with it and say, hey, I won fair and square? Because that's all we want. We want an election that is fair. We want there to be, hey, if you won, if Joe Biden did win, and it is certified, which it hasn't been yet, but if the votes have been certified, there's been, no real evidence of any type of voter interference, any type of fraud, any type of inaccuracies, then, we would have to acknowledge him as our next president, unlike, what people did whenever Trump came in. Of course, a bunch of celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg's like, hey, y'all, he just has to suck it up. Y'all have to suck it up. This is going to be your president. You have to suck it up like we did. I'm like, did you really? Because, everyone was hashtag not my president, protesting, doing riots, just dragging Donald Trump through the mud, doing the freaking impeachment process, saying that, oh, he has ties to this, different types of false claims. So, how are you supposed to expect us to be, tolerant if you weren't even tolerant with a fair election where Hillary Clinton did concede? She threw in the towel, was like, hey, I'm not going to win. Donald Trump is y'all's president. So that's not what's happening right now. Donald Trump has not conceded yet. And I don't think he should until everything's been cleared through. Now, December 14th, the Electoral College is going to be coming together, certifying all the votes and determining who the clear-cut winner is. Of course, some of these legal actions are still going on, so it's going to be a long waiting process. And really, we just have to sit back and wait. The plan that Donald Trump actually does have in place is if for whatever reason he does lose, he does come out as not being the victor, then he does plan on running in 2024, which would be hilarious. I think he still has a good chance of being reelected our president. And a lot of people, of course, are going to be upset. A lot of bad things are going to happen when that happens. But again, for my fellow conservatives, the people that are like, this election's rigged, whatever, it is a waiting game. We do have to be patient. And, it's hard for people to expect us just to take it, as their word. We knew in the beginning of this election that there was going to be a lot of shady stuff. Of course, with the mail-in ballots and, of course, with COVID, which apparently is cured one day. But now that there's a million MAGA march over in Washington, it's all of a sudden a concern again. But, that's neither here nor there. But, it's just a patient game. We have to wait for, the results to be certified. Of course, a lot of things are being premature right now. They want the transition of power day, but you get sworn in on this day, and then the turnover of power happens. Which I think if Donald Trump, does lose fair and square, he'll be more than willing to transition. I just think the fact that he's being so stubborn right now is because he is seeing that, these numbers do not make sense. There's no way that Biden outperformed Obama whenever he was going up for his presidency. And that's why we have a hard time accepting the results. There is just too many factors to play in right now to show, hey, this person won fair and square. Now, this is a problem for not only this election, but upcoming elections in the future. Because whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, we want fair elections. We don't want people to buy wins. And we need to be able to come together as a nation, whether you're red, blue, or whatever. We need to be able to come together as a nation and fight for these things. If the tables were turned this year, if we saw these huge amount of votes for Trump and nothing for Biden, even Republicans would be like, wait, this doesn't even make sense. How is that even possible? Because we want the fair election too, whether or not it's for Trump or for Biden, we want the fair elections. But we're seeing a lot of silence right now because their candidate has won. Why are we going to fight it? Why are we going to risk another 4 more years of Donald J. Trump? Why would we risk that? Well, you're putting future elections at risk. It's hard to celebrate right now. It's hard to say, oh, he's the winner. We're going to have the first black female vice president. There's history being made, yada, yada. But you're just concerning the fact that there was something fishy going on with this election. And it's weird because when Donald Trump won his election, voter fraud was a real thing. Russia has, done something with the voting. This is coming out, that's coming out. But all of a sudden in 2020, there's no possible way fraud can be real. There's no possible way that our elections were rigged. That doesn't make sense. How all of a sudden is everything fair? And that's the question that we have to ask. Now, for those of you watching, I do implore you to look at these different news sources, come up with your own opinions, really think about what this means for our future. And we're going to be covering this in the upcoming weeks that it's going to take to count all the ballots, to do all these legal lawsuits, and we're going to keep you informed. I'm going to try being as unbiased as possible, but it is hard in this fact to where you see this huge unfairness and injustice going on right now. Now, everyone just please make sure to be patient. That's the key in this game right now is patience. It's a chess tournament, not checkers. We're playing chess, not checkers. I've heard that a lot right now, to where you have to bite your time. You have to play the game correctly in order to come out with the greatest results. So right now it's just a time game. If you like this type of stuff, please consider following us, subscribing, following all of our platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, emailing us, anything like that. Voice your concerns down below, whether you agree with me or not. Tell me if you agree, disagree, why I'm right, why I'm wrong, giving your sources, everything like that. We would love to read those. Even on my own personal channel, whenever I was doing my reaction to the Try Guys video, I had someone that opposed my argument, and we were able to have a civil conversation. And I feel like it went well, honestly. So please have that difference of opinion. Don't call an early victory. Wait until the results are actually certified, because nothing's being certified right now. Everything is changing right now. So again, be patient, be open-minded. We just want a fair election. That's all we want is fairness. But until next time, this is Coffee Time News, and you are what you listen to.